Last month, I earned $2,972 in passive crypto income using 3 unique strategies that I'm going to discuss in today's video. This is a portfolio update for me regarding the passive income portion of my crypto portfolio. Now, with that being said, I will tell you that there's actually 6 that I'm ultimately going to include in this, but these 3 were some of the probably bigger earners for last month. I'm just starting this. I'm trying to find an easy way to be able to record this, both for content and for my personal purposes, to figure out what's working the best long term. Now, the great thing about these strategies, I'm going to show you exactly what they are. I'm going to show you what I did right, what I did wrong, what I could have done better. None of this was short-term type stuff. This isn't concentrated liquidity where I got to worry about the price falling out of range. Although I have nothing wrong with that. I may implement that at some point as part of my strategy later. These strategies were a bit more passive than that in most cases. Also, a lot of people don't understand how concentrated liquidity works. I'll just tell you this is a really great way to earn passive income if you understand it. But I did not use this last month at all. I also didn't do anything related to ROI, DApps. I didn't go into any sort of Ponzi scam, Ponzi-nomics, none of that. Everything that I did last month to make this $2,972, almost $3,000, I was able to do it by using strategies that should be able to work for months and years from now. In fact, this should compound very, very quickly. A lot of times people say, what did you start with? I'm going to show you exactly how much I started with. And I'm getting double-digit monthly returns based on the returns that I had last month. Is it going to continue? I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll continue to monitor it in the coming months because I plan to do something very similar. Let's go ahead and get started on, I'm going to go from what made the least amount of money to what made the most amount of money in today's video. Now, I'm not going to break down every single strategy in today's video. I'm just going to do a brief recap. I will do future videos breaking down each one of these strategies. I'll give each one of them a dedicated video in the future. So you stay tuned for that. Smash that subscribe button. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to show you where I lost money and where I made money. And if you can appreciate that, do me a favor and hit that like button. The first thing that made money was Lyra Protocol. So Lyra Protocol is an options trading protocol. And I started out, as you can see, I'm already up. By the way, I did this spreadsheet on Friday of last week, so we're on Monday. It's technically the first now, so it's been a few days, but you'll see that my collateral is actually up a little bit from here where I ended, so I'm already making some of these funds back, but I actually lost money on Lyra. Now, Lyra is a great protocol. The options trading strategy that I use does pretty well in most markets. Selling options is essentially what I'm doing on Lyra. There's a link to Lyra if you want to check it out. I'll put a link in the description that is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything if you want to check out Lyra, but options is something that's a bit unique. Some people don't understand it. It can be very confusing, but it can also be very profitable in most market conditions. The only time that options is a problem is if we get extreme volatility. With options, I do well if there's volatility. I do well if the price is moving sideways, and I can do well if the price is going up and down. That's what I like about options. It's a very versatile strategy. Now, I'm not buying options. I'm almost exclusively selling options. But using the Lyra protocol, selling options last month, I started out with $10,020 in Lyra, and I ended up taking a small loss of about $408. By the way, this column here is new funds coming in. I'm going to restructure this spreadsheet so it's easier to view, but I want to go ahead and get this recorded for you. But this will be new funds that came in, and this is where this column here shows where I started. So I started with 10,000. I didn't bring any new funds in. I ended with $9,612, and I took a $408 loss. So that was project number 1. This is the one that did the worst. Spoiler alert, the next 2 actually made money. The third one made a lot of money. It made most of the money. Project number 2 is liquid loans. I'm trying to keep this simple. I did go from liquid loans to Power City, which is a similar protocol, and back to liquid loans. And I came out ahead on this whole thing, but just so you know, I started the month out with $1,203. I also brought in some funds. I had 2 protocols that I'm no longer in. I cashed out of Thales and I cashed out of Peapod Finance. Those two, these are the funds that I pulled out, and I put that into liquid loans as well. I'll also say that I added another $1,200 in outside funds into liquid loans as well. So if you do the math on that, it should be 1836, 1220, and I think another $1,200 or so that came in here. So I added 4,256. This is the protocol that right now I'm very excited about. I wanted to build this up, get closer to that $10,000 mark with liquid loans. So this month I plan to add probably at least another $1,000, if not $2,000 to liquid loans. Plus, I'm compounding liquid loans. Right now, liquid loans is I'm in the stability pool, exclusively in the stability pool. So when I say I'm in liquid loans, I mean I'm in liquid loan stability pool. I'm taking the rewards from the loan token. I'm taking any rewards in PLS right now, and I'm selling them for USDL. That is their stable coin, which I think is incredibly fascinating. I talk about this almost every day on my live streams because I just love what Liquid Loans is doing and what Power City is doing on the Pulse chain. But the APR is in a USD stablecoin, USDL. I think it's phenomenal. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to keep growing this. I want to get this to about $10,000 as quickly as I can. Hopefully, I'll get close to that by the end of next month is my goal. And as you can see, last month I netted $700. Here's what's crazy about this $700. This included me taking a small 5% hit when I went to Power City. Basically, Power City was a little bit off peg when I went over there. And so the emissions were really high. The project just launched as a sister project to Liquid Loans. And I still ended up making $700 even by taking that 5% hit. To earn $700, I'm not disappointed with that on a percent return at all. And of course, I was able to offset this loss with Lyra. I don't suspect I'll continue. I know that I will not continue to lose money with Lyra, but in the course of a year, 10 plus months should be net positive. Of course, that will depend on how volatile the market is. But I'm pretty confident in that. My strategy with selling options is really, really good. Now, I want to compare these two strategies for a minute. Lyra works well in up markets and down markets. Lyra is the strategy that's the most active. I do have to kind of watch that every single day. Even though with liquid loans, because I have to adjust trades on occasion, even though with liquid loans, I don't have to watch it every day. I do compound every day because to maximize my total returns as I'm growing. All right, next up, my top earner for the month. My project that I am just stunned with how well it did last month. I brought in $400 into BingX. I'm using BingX primarily for copy trading. I did do an Ethereum trade. I did not count that in these calculations, but $9,523, added $400 to it. But the total returns last month with the 4 traders that I'm following, I'll show you those here in a moment. I made $12,603, earning $2,680. This was substantially high. We had some volatility. My traders did really, really well on that volatility. I do have a link in the description for BingX. By the way, I'll put a link in the description for Lyra, Liquid Loans, and BingX. You can check them all out. BingX and Lyra are affiliate links. There are no affiliate links for Liquid Loans. But we'll come over here real quick. You'll see that I'm already at $42 so far for today. These are the traders that I'm using. I think I have their links in the description as well if you want to check them out. They've done really, really well. I mean, this guy here, let's see. Last 30 days, he's done 38%. It's important to understand this is a compounded return. It's assuming that you're not withdrawing. It's less than that if you were withdrawing, say, every week. In the past 180 days, 713%. But here's the most important part of this guy. His risk has been relatively low, low. Now, with that being said, doesn't mean he couldn't go belly up. And all of these guys could basically blow their account. That's always possible. So you just have to be careful. But 12,601 is where I'm at right now. And where was I at? 12,000. So I'm $2 off of where I was at. So I'm down by a whole $2 over the past couple of days. We'll see where I'm at in the next 30 days, but I'm very excited to see where BingX goes. My goal is to be earning a minimum of $1,000 with each one of these programs, with each one of the strategies. I say in programs, that makes it sound like it's some sort of ROI DApp. Each one of these strategies, I want to be earning at least $1,000. Now, what's not included here? Well, I stopped using Thales. Thales was a program. There's no need to talk about it. I'm going to continue to follow it. I'm not in it right now. I stopped using Peapods primarily because it's on Ethereum It's expensive to be able to like compound. And I thought, you know what, when I can, here's the reality of it. Liquid loans paying out 40-50% on the low side APR, all the way up to 180% APR. That's APR, not APY. APR is uncompounded. I mean, this number could, over the coming months, I could quickly get this. If the APR stays above 100%, I could quickly get this to $12,000, $15,000, maybe even $20,000 over the next 3 to 6 months, just by compounding and adding 1,000 or two here and there, which would make these earnings go over $1,000 a month in no time. BingX did well. We did really well. It was a really volatile month, and where it was too volatile for Lyra, I made up for it on the BingX returns. I think on a normal month, this would be closer to about 1,000, 1,500, and I think I'm going to pull $400 to $600 a month out of Lyra on average. Now, what I didn't include that I'll make certain I try to include next month is I didn't show my sports betting returns. I have a strategy on sports betting. Most people do not know that you can consistently make money on sports betting, but you can. I have a very simple strategy that I use to sports bet. I'll cover that next month. I also have 3 different casinos that I make dividends from. I've covered these years ago on my channel. I will come back and cover them. I'm still in them, all the ones that are active. One of them is earning me, at the time of this video, I think it's about $450 a month in completely passive income. In fact, that's where some of this came from this month. I actually ended up pulling $1,000 out of one of them, and I added it to, I think it was liquid loans. No, 1,200, and I added it to liquid loans. So some of them are doing better than others, but I'm going to include their earnings in next month's video. By the way, if you want to follow my journey, my copy trading journey here on BingX, you can go down in the description and you can follow my journey to earn $1,000 per month. We probably should change this to like $5,000 a month because I made over $2,000 this month. By the way, just to answer the question, how much money did I start with? Because that's a common question when people see videos like this, and it's a fair question. So I actually, if you look at, let me go back to my sheet. If you were to calculate basically this number, because it was the starting point, and you calculated this number plus this number and this number plus this number, all of these 4 numbers here, I think it's $25,402, I believe. So if you divide my earnings by $25,402, so I earned 11.69% last month in passive income. Lyra's arguably not, I mean, it's kind of passive. Basically, I have to make trades probably 3 to 4 times a week. So it's kind of passive. What I like about Lyra is I feel more control. I feel like I have less risk. Like BingX, I mean, I'm following other traders, so it's their trading. Liquid loans, it has to do with how the protocol does. So it has a little bit less than me, and it's about the revenue generated from the protocol. In Lyra, I kind of like it, even though it's less passive, but I feel like I'm in control. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.